Hello, Chaotic Doc here, and welcome back to another Legacy video. Today we're going to be going through with one of my favorite decks, Legacy Ninjas. Alright, so let's hop into the deck tech real quick. I think this one's a little bit spicier than your average Legacy Ninjas. Okay? This deck list is by Narumi, who had a 5-0 list with what I'm calling Grixis Ninjas. So we're looking at our normal ninja shell, right? So we have Yuriko the Tiger Shadow. When it deals damage, whenever a ninja you control deals damage to a player, you reveal a top card of your library, put that card into your hand, and each opponent loses life equal to that card's mana value. Then we have Ingenious Infiltrator. Similar thing, anytime a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So these two combined are our draw engine. It looks like we're doing 3 Yuriko, 4 Ingenious Infiltrator. That probably plays around Caracas a little bit better. Then we have Baleful Strix for creatures. We have Changeling Outcast, which is a unblockable ninja because it's a changeling to get in. And Ornithopter is a way to put something in and then ninjutsu in Yuriko or Ingenious Infiltrator on turn 2. Okay, now here's where I want to look at. So we still have some other stuff, right? Like we have Force of Will, we have Force of Negation. We don't have Daze, but what we're trading out the Dazes this deck normally runs for Expressive Iteration as an extra form of card advantage, and 2 copies of Dragon's Rage Channeler for an extra threat for the early game. Early game we ninjutsu it out. Late game it's a 3/3 flying that I can attack, and it gives us a lot of card selection, right? And with card selection and a Yuriko, we can hopefully get in some extra damage. Other than that, we have Retrofitter Foundry to combo with the Ornithopters and Changeling Outcasts, and in the sideboard we're running 2 Hydroblasts, 2 Hydroblast, 2 Flusterstorm, 1 Force Negation, 2 Surgical Extractions for the graveyard matchups, 1 Sudden Edict, 3 Plague Engineers, 3 Pyroblasts because we are running red in this deck, and 1 Maddening Hex. Alright, so my thoughts. Previously, I had a video on ninjas where I said I didn't really like the mana base because it was running all basics, 4 fetch lands, and like 1 underground sea total. It might have been higher on the fetch lands, but it was only 1 underground sea. This deck I like more. We only running 1 basic island, but suddenly the amount of actual fetch lands to dual lands we have feels a lot better. I'm excited for that. The only issue I can see with this deck, we've given up on Ponder and on Daze. So we're looking at a little less tempo plays, and hopefully that will be made up for with the DRC and the EI. Other than that, I'm pretty excited to play this deck. Let's hop in a league, see how it goes. See you there. Alright, our opponents would have found we are on the play. We will keep our hand. Sorry, we will be on the play. This hand has no land, so we will mulligan this. I like this. We can pretend to be Delver for a minute. Sure. I was tempted. I was like, do we put back Otawara or basic island? I think it's gotta be Otawara. We need our underground sea for if we have a black card later, and we do have under Murderous Cut, but we need to do it like this so we have all our colors under us, and we don't, and this lets us play around Wasteland, right? Having the island plays around Wasteland where Otawara does not. Alright, so turn 1 we're gonna go Volcanic Island and then play DRC. And then turn 2, this gives us the ability to brainstorm looking for another card, or if we get a fetch land, it makes DRC even better. And we'll pass to our opponent, see what they have for us. Sorry, I had to adjust my mic just a mite. Alright, Wooded Foothills from the opponents. This could be, so we're looking at some sort of green deck, probably. Could be Minsk and Boo, could be Tropical Island, so this could be like a Vamp deck. Nope, it's just gonna be lands. So we have Mox Diamond, I assume. So maybe Punch and Fire somewhere here as well, which would be the threat for us. Life from the Loam from our opponent. Okay, so they're getting their card advantage going. Another Mox Diamond. And an Expedition map. Okay, so our opponent's definitely on lands of some kind. It looks like they're doing pretty good, I would assume. They will pass back to us. Let's see what we got. Yuriko. Okay, let's just start hitting with Yuriko. If they have a Caracas, they can go get Caracas off Expedition map. I think it's probably worth hitting with Yuriko, just for the card draw. Okay, go to attackers. Now, hopefully I won't make a mistake like this too many times this league, but now that we're after blockers, we can ninjutsu in Yuriko. If you don't know, ninjutsu means return an unblocked attacking creature to your hand, and you get to put in the ninja in its place. Alright, Yuriko connects, and what do we get from it? A swamp. Okay. We don't have anything else for the turn, so we'll pass to our opponent. Alright, and they mill Caracas, Mox Diamond, and Exploration to Dredging Life from the Loam. So that will be a Yuriko issue. Oh no, they have Crop Rotation for Wasteland, so now they're going to waste us off a color. That's a very aggressive turn. I guess that makes sense. So they shuts down DRC if they don't think we have another red land. Now I think what they have to do is they have to loam back. They have to loam again, get Caracas, so they can play Caracas and bounce our buddy, our Yuriko. Looks like they're grabbing Wasteland, Trop. Oh, that's why they did the Wasteland, because they're going to get it back anyways. Wow, not going for the Caracas. Unless they have Exploration in hand of some kind. It doesn't look like it. So we get to have Yuriko for a turn, but then they get to Wasteland us into Oblivion for the rest of the game. Except that we do have some basics. Interesting. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit with Yuriko first, see what we get. And then I'm considering going Scalding Tarn for DRC more than I am considering like playing a basic. Because we don't have a basic like red land. So whatever we play Scalding Tarn can get Wastelanded. But this gives us a card draw, and then once DRC is in the battlefield, it doesn't get Scalding Tarn does DRC does not get bounced with Caracas, so it gives us a threat in play. Yeah, so we can go Badlands or Volcanic Island. We might as well get, it doesn't matter which, it's going to get Wastelanded probably. So we'll just get Badlands. If it doesn't get Wastelanded, then we have, either way, we get to play Baleful Strix next turn. Alright, pass to our opponent. So they're, I'll be honest, this is not looking great in our favor because they also have Urza Saga in the graveyard now. So once they get Urza Saga going along with their Caracas, looks like they decided to pass through to second main though. I assume this will be Caracas coming down. Now here's a fun fact, right? So if they play Caracas, we don't have Wasteland, then they can bounce DRC, we attack with DRC, return it. Well, they have the Wasteland. Like, this was if they chose to play Caracas instead of Wasteland. Alright, we'll just play our... Well, we'll play for an island for turn. So what we can do is we can set up some damage from Yuriko with the Brainstorm, which I think is probably going to be worth it. And then, let's see. So we'll play the island, go to combat. We'll hit for... Well, let's see, what do we have? We have all lands in the graveyard. So we can't set up the Delirium. Right, so we do this, then we'll Brainstorm here. We'll draw 3. Whatever this is probably getting milled. Snuff Out. We'll put Snuff Out into the graveyard. Okay. And then we'll look. We don't need another Yuriko. So what we'll do is we'll put back Yuriko Murderous Cut. We played the land this turn, didn't we? So we're going to draw both. Yeah, we're going to put back Yuriko and then Murderous Cut. We'll reveal Murderous Cut to Yuriko trigger after we deal 2 damage. So this will put them to 8. Right, so they take 2, then they'll take 5 for Murderous Cut. We'll pass. Alright. We have a Yuriko on top that doesn't do much for us, but if they Caracas us, we can just play, return Yuriko. We have instant land in the graveyard. Alright, they go for the Caracas now. Alright, so they're going to pass. So now here's where we get a little bit of a fun thing, right? So if they are holding up Endurance, right? They block with Endurance, we die, but we can Murderous Cut it. If they're holding up, if they're just going to Caracas bouncing Yuriko, we can put Yuriko back into play, return DRC to hand. So what we're going to do is we're just going to play the swamp so we have Murderous Cut available, and then we're going to go combat. Alright, they are letting us attack. Now we get to see what they have. Alright, we have Murderous Cut. Okay, so they go for the bounce. That's fine. Right, bounce. Looks like probably no blockers, and we will go Yuriko. Alright, Yuriko is coming into play. Alright, it deals damage. They didn't have a removal spell, so let's see what we flip. Baleful Strix. Okay, that puts them to 5. We don't have another land, so what we'll do is we will discard... If we discard a Strix, we make sure that DRC has Delirium in all future turns, so we'll discard a Strix here. It looks like they're cracking the Expedition map. Let's see what they get. Tabernacle of Pentral Vale. Interesting. They want to make it harder for us to have Strix sticking around. Makes sense. Or sorry, any creature stick around, really. That's fine by me. So they play Tabernacle. Alright, they chose to play Tabernacle and pass. I'm thinking what we do here is we're going to let Yuriko die because they can just bounce it anyways with Caracas. But now we can put in DRC and Baleful Strix. Then next turn we'll pay for them and have so if we pay for them, they don't waste lands, we get to pay for both of those. And then they won't be able to waste, or they won't be able to Caracas us, and we'll be able to get into damage, put in Yuriko again if necessary. Let's start with Baleful Strix in case we draw something better. Okay, what do we draw? Tarn. We'll fetch off Tarn then, I guess. Doesn't make much difference. Oh. They have something. They have endurance. Interesting. Okay, so DRC is worse. What we're going to do now is we'll grab a kill spell and kill the endurance. Right, we want to be able to get Baleful Strix through in future turns without the mana, without having to pay, or without having to deal with the reach. So this will still probably grab Badlands, but now we'll go for Fatal Push. Fatal Push, the endurance. That resolves. Okay, we'll pass. So they are on a 5-turn clock now. In future turns, they can take off turns to Wastelands, but then we get to hold up Expressive Iteration. We get Murderous Cut to kill their thing. We have Yuriko to come back in. Like, they need a Wasteland us if they want to get. They don't want Yuriko, the Baleful Strix coming in. Like, sorry, from their perspective, if they think we have another Yuriko in hand, they need to Wasteland us right now in order to stop us from being able to play Yuriko from Baleful Strix. They don't necessarily know that we have a land in hand. Right, so they do choose to play Wasteland. We know that they dredge, so they don't have any form of exploration in hand. They chose to they did tap Caracas, right? This means that we know that Yuriko's coming in. We'll pay blue. Yep. And this will be Underground Sea. Attack with Strix, going with Yuriko. No blocks, Yuriko's going to come in then. And now what we're hoping to reveal here is we're going to deal 1 damage, so we need any 4 drop off the top. That's Murderous Cut, that's Force of Wills, anything like that. What do we reveal? It is a Changeling Outcast. Not the best, but also not terrible, right? They're going to bounce Yuriko here, or not, it doesn't matter. And then we get to play Baleful Strix, Changeling Outcast, all those things. They did take a draw step this turn instead of Dredging Life from the Loam. Slight change this time. If we get to our turn, we will pay for Yuriko for Tabernacle. We will pay for Yuriko. Then we'll go to combat, they'll bounce it, we'll play something else. That's fine. Maybe we don't play it. No, we have to play it. Or pay for it. I was thinking like, oh, what if we don't pay for Yuriko? Then we can get in with Baleful Strix and Changeling Outcast. Actually, you know what? That's so tempting to have Baleful Strix and Changeling Outcast. I think we're going to let Yuriko die here. Because we put in Changeling Outcast, we know they can't block that. We can put in DRC. Okay, what we do is we pay for Yuriko, play Changeling Outcast and DRC. We skip Baleful Strix for the turn, actually, I believe is the play here. So yes, we'll pay for that. Cool, Bloodstained Mire's fine. We'll go to combat, they'll bounce it, and then we'll play our creatures. Okay. And real quick, if you are playing in the opponent's position, you do need to bounce it in the attack step, because if they got to the block step, I'd be able to ninjutsu in a different Yuriko in response to this trigger. They are playing correctly, I just want to make sure anyone else who's watching would know that trick. Right, so we'll go for a Badlands or Volcanic Island here. That'll play DRC, and we'll play Changeling Outcast. That'll give us 2 blocker or attackers for next turn. There's the DRC, and then this will be Changeling Outcast. And we will need to pay for both of these next turn. That's fine by me, because then we'll have 2 different attackers for 1 damage each. Okay, our opponent. Let's see what they choose to do. They choose to go for a Wasteland and activate. Okay. So now if they have Endurance, that takes out DRC, but it can't block Changeling Outcast anyways. Okay. All right. No attacks from them. We will pay for both of these creatures. Pay to prevent it, and pay to prevent DRC from dying. Yep. And then we can just play Bloodstained Mire here instead of playing, and we don't have to fetch this turn. Combat. I kind of expect to see Endurance here. But I think with Changeling Outcast on board, it doesn't scare me too much. Oh, we're going to blockers, actually. Ooh. So now they are dead on board. Right? They might have like a... Honestly, their deck is interesting, because it looks pretty mono-green. But like, Tropical Island screams Uro to me, but maybe this is some... This could have some lands that it probably doesn't need to be running Uro. Okay, Urza Saga will not save them here. Ooh, and we win. Okay, we've taken down match 1. Let's go to match 2. Sorry, we did not take match 1. We took out game 1. Alright, let's look at our sideboard, figure out what we want to take for this. So number 1 thing I want is Force Negation for their Life from the Loams. Then we're looking at stuff like Flusterstorm. We're looking at Surgical Extractions for life. Surgical Extractions definitely coming in for Life from the Loam. We didn't really see many creatures that posed a threat besides Endurance. I think maybe we take out Fatal Push in case we can't activate that. And then we're looking at maybe remove Strix, maybe a Snuff Out. We need to remove more things. I don't think I actually want Flusterstorms. That's more for a counterspell heavy matchup. We need our Force Negations. Brazen Borrow, I want to keep it a Brazen Borrow because maybe they never showed it, but I would assume they have to have some sort of land-based combo such as Merit Blade, so we're going to keep that in. Maybe we do remove Murderous Cut. You know, let's say we remove one Snuff Out, one Baleful Strix actually, right? And we'll play it like that. There was an argument to say, hey, let's remove an Ornithopter instead of a Strix. Strix is a little bit grindier. I think removing a Strix seems fine. We're looking to get things down quickly. Ooh, this hand doesn't have a way to get these ninjas into place. We're not winning a tempo race here. It has Force Negation if they have Loam, though, which is kind of what I'm more concerned about. And we can then use Brainstorm to find the pieces we need. So let's keep this, actually. All right. So this will probably be, they play some stuff, Loam, we do Force Pitch and Ingenious Infiltrator. Is Exploration more of an issue than Loam? Yes. I don't want them to have this. Right, if they were tricking me, they have a Loam in hand that they're able to play this turn. I'm concerned, obviously. Like, they didn't play a fetch land, and then they went for Exploration. So like this means like a future Loam isn't as good as it would be if Exploration was in the deck still. And we draw Changeling Outcast for turn. That's kind of perfect. So we can just do that, and next turn we have Ingenious Infiltrator coming in. There's an argument that we should have fetched the basic Swamp there, but that would have taken us off EI. But then again, if they have Wasteland here, we're in a different issue. Yeah, the basic Swamp was a better play probably. Yep, there you go for the Wasteland. I think they're deciding between casting a spell and going for Wasteland there. Okay, and they pass. And what do we get? Ornithopter. So what we'll do is we'll play Bloodstained Mire, attack for 1 with Changeling Outcast. Then we will play Ornithopter, so if we draw land next turn, we can put in Ingenious Infiltrator, draw 2 cards, 1 off the Changeling Outcast, 1 off the Ingenious Infiltrator. That would just ninjutsu in. Okay, they take the 1, as you'd expect. Then we play Ornithopter for turn. We'll pass back to our opponent here, Gandalf the Grey, and see what they get up to. Thespian stage. Okay, so we were right to keep in Brazen Borrower, which is about what I expected. So what we could do right now is Brainstorm, looking to make sure we hit the next land. I think I like it. It's risky. But I think because it's so risky, we need to get the basic island. Oh, this isn't we can't fetch basic island. We will get the Underground Sea. We were fetching with a Bloodstained Mire. There was no basic island to grab. Okay, and then Brainstorm off that. And again, we're looking to see a land, and Yuriko's so good. Okay, so we're going to go, we'll draw, what we should do is we should put back Retrofitter Foundry, or I guess we should put back Expressive Iteration. No, because we're going to shuffle away whatever we don't draw. Okay. We will put back Retrofitter Foundry and Ingenious Infiltrator. We'll make sure we draw Ingenious Infiltrator. Sorry, I had a moment where I was trying to figure out the maximum damage we get off 2 Yuriko triggers, and I forgot what we actually needed to do. Which is, half our cards still. I was going to shuffle them away with the Polluted Delta. Alright, opponent finally passes back to us. We will fetch Basic Island off the Polluted Delta here. Alright, play Polluted Delta for turn. We'll fetch Basic Island. There's an argument to get the Volcanic Island so we can play the EI, but I want the Basic more. Right, just so we can play around that, what Wasteland they probably have in hand. Okay, Ornithopter and Changeling Outcast coming in, then we're going to go to blocks. And now we will ninjutsu in Yuriko. What we're looking for here is, oh, sorry, I tapped wrong. We're looking to get Brazen Borrow. And, oh, they conceded to the ninjutsu. Interesting. I think there's probably game to play there still, but I assume they were really relying on their Exploration then, that we forced the negation. So that must have been a good play on our part in the end. All right, so we are 1-0. I'm feeling pretty happy with that. See you guys in the next match. Alright, back for match 2 on the draw this time. This one's tempting. Alright, we have Baleful Strix to block if we need to and give us some redraws. We have Brainstorm for Polluted Delta. I'm keeping this one. It's an interesting one, right? This is an interesting one. Ooh, Otawara. So that Otawara could be, I was going to say 8 cast. I know they run Otawara. This looking like some sort of 8 cast, some blue combo like Hole Breacher, Days Undoing combo deck, I would assume. For a moment I thought, oh yeah, this is Storm. This is probably not Storm. And we'll just pass like this. If they go for Days Undoing, what we'll do is we will brainstorm looking for Force of Will. Sorry, Days Undoing or Echo Vions. Looks like they're thinking of something they want to do on our turn. Nope. There's the slot on the stack. So interestingly, now is a good time to brainstorm because they wouldn't be able to hold Breach in response because they don't have the mana yet. But I'm going to wait to see them do something before I brainstorm. Mesmeric Orb. Okay, so this is a old legacy combo called 4 Horsemen then. What they're doing is they're going to play the Grim Monolith and be able to tap and untap everything until they can get to what they need. We don't want Retrofitter Foundry. We will take the other Brainstorm. They're going to be able to mill their whole deck as needed, along with the new Foundry card, Mystic Forge, the cast cards off their deck, their free cards off their deck. All right, so we mill a card. Oh, we just milled the Brainstorm, drew Retrofitter Foundry. Forgot. Interesting. So we will go for Baleful Strix here. I know this is going to be an artifact-based deck. I'm not particularly concerned about Wasteland. Maybe I should be. Another Brainstorm, okay. So once they have the Monolith in play, I believe what they can do is they can mill their deck at will until they put an Echo Vions into the graveyard. Oh, or just do it off the rip there. And now they can play Echo Vions off Lion's Eye Diamond if they wish, right? Lion's Eye Diamond, pretty famous. Discard your hand, sacrifice it, add 3 mana of any one color. And then Echo Vions is costs 3 for flashback, and everyone just shuffles their library and their graveyard and their hand together and then draws 7. This looks like Echo Vions oh, okay, so this is Basalt Monolith. Right, so this is the combo. They can go for Mesmeric Orb, and then we're gonna do is yield. So they can mill whatever card they want with Mesmeric Orb and Grim Basalt Monolith together. They can mill their whole deck if they want. Put in I don't think there's a Narcomoeba deck, right? Like the old deck we ran like 4 Narcomoebas and a Emrakul, and was like some weird mill deck that you milled your whole deck. This one I think is a little bit quicker to play. They're gonna go until there's something they want to play, right? And they're gonna go flashback, play Lion's Eye Diamonds, etc. Now with Mystic Forge, they can also play any artifact off their deck. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna yield because I don't know how much time this is gonna take up, and I might be quiet for a moment. We'll cut around a bit and we'll see what happens. All right, so if you look what they're doing here, they're untapping and retapping Basalt Monolith. Every time they do for Mesmeric Orb, whenever a permanent becomes untapped, that permanent's controller mills a card. So they're looking at the top of their deck list with Mystic Forge, playing all their 0-drop artifacts, and then milling anything that's not one of those. Right? So this can take a bit. They have a defense grid. I'm gonna go through a setting real quick. Right? We just have turned on auto size cards. So we'll take some keys. So the keys combined with the monoliths and the Grim Monolith and Basalt Monolith go mana positive, right? You can tap them, not unlimitedly, but it allows the keys to become pretty good mana rocks. Right, we're just going to take a look at their deck list here from what they're milling. Right, so we see Echo Vions, Ancient Tombs, and Island, Walking Ballista. The Walking Ballista is, I believe, their win condition here. Because they can mill their deck unlimitedly, they can play Walking Ballista from hand or from their graveyard. They play Walking Ballista from the top of their deck after they've milled their deck, play all the Lion's Eye Diamonds, cast Echo Vions, do it again, and they can go mana positive the whole time, and eventually they can make a large enough Walking Ballista to kill us. They do have the win. I kind of want to see if this deck can actually win in time. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to pause the recording. I'll unpause it if anything interesting happens, and I'll try to get back on when the kill goes off. Alright, sorry, I'm back. I missed something. Our opponent did win with an Aether Flux Reservoir, right? So they play that, gain some life, and then kill us. So that's their quicker way to win the game. Alright, so let's hop into the sideboard. I think I got some ideas. Alright, pretty simple. Pyroblast in. Force of Negation in. We don't need kill spells. Like, I know they have the sagas. I don't think that's the issue that we're facing. The Murderous Cut, Snuff Outs out. Might leave in a Fatal Push. We're at 61 still. We will not leave in a Fatal Push. Brazen Borrower doesn't interest me, but I'm thinking, like, does Surgical Extraction? Like, if they're going to mill something, we can Surgical Extract it. Ooh, no. Maddening Hex. Ooh, Maddening Hex will get him. Alright, like, Maddening Hex is probably kills him, I assume. And I think we remove... Ooh, I'm thinking Brazen Borrower, right? We're just going to rely on Pyroblast, Force Negation to answer some of their stuff, right? Pyroblast, they aren't going to be playing many blue spells, but what they are is Echo Vions. If we can Pyroblast that leaves them with an empty hand. We would like to keep for play, and we'll keep this, I think. Right, so this has Force of Will, it has Pyroblast. We'll just start with a fetch land and go. Alright, passing to our opponents. Let's see what they have this time. So they're starting with an Urza Saga. Right, so maybe they are on the Urza Saga plan, in which case our removal of some cards could be an issue. We'll allow Voltaic Key to come in, it doesn't really affect us. And they pass to us after that. So if they go for Ancient Tomb next turn, that's an issue. But if they don't, it's not an issue. So we can Brainstorm this turn, or we can just hold up Pyroblast, play Retrofitter Foundry. I kind of like that move more. And if they don't play anything on their turn, what this will do is this will fetch Volcanic Island and then Brainstorm. Alright, Urza Saga triggers. And there's the Ancient Tomb. So that was a concern. So now they do have Urza Saga constructs that will be bigger than our creatures. Okay. So this is we're gonna Brainstorm looking for something here. Probably off Volcanic Island. Right, that gets all our colors under us, and then Brainstorm. I kind of like Changeling Outcast here, right? Like even then, if we get in Yuriko, on our turn we'll play Changeling Outcast, hold up Pyroblast Force of Will. So we'll just put back one Pyroblast, put back Badlands, and then we'll draw Badlands for turn. Okay. Now we change the Outcast, and we'll just pass off that. What we do is we have Force of Will up and we have Pyroblast up, as well as activate Retrofitter Foundry if they do just nothing, or if they only use Urza Saga on their turn. Alright, so they're making their first construct. This will be a 2/2. The next one will be if they make another on their turn, they'll go up to 3/3s and then 4/4s when they fetch for the artifact. And then we'll have to see if they can play another artifact on their turn. It looks like they are choosing to make another construct, as expected. So now the real question is, what do they get? Like, do they grab another Voltaic Key? Do they grab Manifold Key for Unblockable? Or are they have Echo in hand if they're grabbing Lion's Eye Diamond? I hope they Echo. I hope they Echo so badly. And that makes Echo a little... Like, Echo, if they Echo right now, or they usually Lion's Eye Diamond try to Echo, it's very good for us. These are getting big, though. Okay, so they're coming in for 5, which we can soak up 5 damage with Retrofitter Foundry. I think we're not going to, because this allows us to... If they just are echoing in second main, then being able to Retrofitter Foundry, or being able to Pyroblast was more important, and they didn't do that. Okay, we'll just make a 1/1. Okay, our turn, we draw that Pyroblast. So I think what we do is we go to combat, put in a Yuriko. We're going to do it off blue and black, that way we can hold up Pyroblast still. Alright, no blockers on the Changeling Outcast. Yuriko coming in. And what do we reveal? Looks like our opponent might have a response, and they did not. Okay, so damage trigger. What do we get? Force of Will. Okay, that's pretty good for us. Now we need to get through that again. I was like, oh no, I forgot to play Changeling Outcast, and I remember holding up Pyroblast. Which might have been incorrect. It might be better to hold up the Changeling Outcast, but also we can put in Ingenious Infiltrator on our turn. Now this turn we do block with Servo Token. They're coming in for 6. Yeah, we have to block. I was like, what if we don't block though? And I was like, oh, we probably die. We do die actually, because they can make another construct, turn them into 7/7s. Yeah, it's looking like our opponent probably wins this one on construct beats. We were supposed to sack that guy to make a flying servo. I forgot about the actual text on Retrofitter Foundry. So let's see, they're coming with 3 guys next turn. We can block 2, take 7. Alright, so we can block 2, take 7. No, because it'll be 8 because of Urza Saga makes a token this turn, makes a token next turn, and then we die. So that will actually be game because we didn't make that servo. To be fair, it didn't look great for us, but, well, what are you going to do? So we will actually concede that game and hop into the next match. But, you know, you made it through 2 matches. Why not consider liking the video or subscribing? It helps me out a lot. See you in match 3. Alright, we are back for match 3, 1-1. This hand looks unkeepable, right? So we have Brainstorm in 4 lands. Like, we don't have any threat. We don't have a fetch land to actually make Brainstorm more useful here, so we're going to mulligan go down to 6. This is definitely better. It's tough when we want pitch, though. I'm thinking Ottawara, and then hopefully we can get Brainstorm to get us a second land, or a red land specifically for EI. Alright, looks like our opponent is on lands again. Previously, we've said that we were going to Force of Negation and Exploration, so we'll Force of Will here. That resolves, okay. And we'll go to our turn here. Ooh, that would have been very good if we had that land. So we're going to play Retrofitter Foundry so we can start activating it next turn. All right, this will allow us next turn we can play land and hold up Brainstorm or Retrofitter Foundry activation, depending on what we want to do. Our opponent plays Misty Rainforest and fetches, gets a basic. They could think we have Wasteland. No, they have Life from the Loam, so it doesn't matter. Okay. They're going to pass to us. So again, this is a deck we're looking at where we're concerned about having... we're concerned that this deck has endurances to block us. We're playing Polluted Delta for turn because now what we're looking for is at the end step, we want to just really sculpt our hand a little bit. So we're going to be able to Brainstorm and then fetch away the cards we don't need. I think that's more important than one activation of Retrofitter Foundry. So they choose to dredge Life from the Loam this turn, revealing Mox Diamond, Ghost Quarter, and Yavimaya. So Ghost Quarters means they're probably on a pretty heavy destroy our lands plan. So that's an issue that we have to deal with, right? Like, so sacrifice a destroyed target land. It's controlled by search the library for a basic land card, put onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So we have 3 basics. We have 2 islands, 1 swamp. So that is an issue if they start getting those back every turn. This also means we're actually disincentivized from fetching basics at the moment. All right, brainstorming on our turn, or on their turn. No, what do they have? Okay, they had something, then they decided they didn't have that thing actually. Let's put back. God, this is a tough one. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna draw one of these lands, and we're gonna keep everything here. We'll put back Underground Sea because we don't need it, and Volcanic Island. Draw land for turn. No, it would. Let's say we don't want to draw land for turn actually because we have EI. So let's fetch the other. Let's fetch Badlands and we'll activate EI. What is this? Besieging the Retrofitter Foundry. Okay, that's fine. Yes, we would like to activate that ability. We'll grab Badlands with that and Underground Sea with Polluted Delta probably. And this allows us to go red, blue, EI. We haven't actually made a land drop yet. Ooh, okay. So, Ingenious Infiltrator to hand, Forceful on the bottom, and then Changeling Outcast into play. Right, and this allows us to play Changeling Outcast and then Ninjutsu and Ingenious Infiltrator next turn. And then replay Changeling Outcast. Alright, they've chosen to crack Misty in response. This could be Bolt, maybe? Can't be Punishing Fire. It was not a removal spell on our turn. Okay. They did just draw like normal. So what we're seeing here is, do they have... They do have Life from the Loam in hand. If they don't play it, what I'm expecting is that they're holding up Endurance, most likely. Punishing Fire. I thought that might have been a possibility, so that's a little tricky for us. This means on our turn, ooh, so they have Caracas as well, that makes sense. But on our turn, there's going to be Life from the Loam. But on our turn, what we'll do is we will EI them looking for new threats. Wait. So we could EI, or we could just play Ingenious Infiltrator. It doesn't die to Punishing Fire, but also doesn't really get us too much further ahead. I think we'll go EI. Right, get some card advantage this turn, and then that can get it next turn. So this sounds stupid, but I think we're going to make the same exact play. We're going to put 4 Ingenious Infiltrator hand, Force Negation on the bottom, play Changeling Outcast this turn. And like, there's an argument that, oh, we wanted to put Changeling Outcast into play, put Force Negation in hand to get in the other Ingenious Infiltrator. That means we'd have to pitch the Ingenious Infiltrator to the Force Negation. Right? And Force Negation is very good in this position. There's a very good argument that I should have taken it, because Force Negation shuts down Punishing Fire by exiling the spell. So if they play Grove of the Burnwillows right here, I'm wrong. And even if they don't play Grove of the Burnwillows right here, I could still be wrong. Also, they did choose to dredge Life from the Loam, and they did not reveal Grove of the Burnwillows. Reveal 2 other Life from the Loams in a Wasteland, though. Ah! I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I was wrong. I was supposed to take the Force of Negation. But also, we can just start hard casting Ingenious Infiltrators this turn. Did anyone consider that possibility? I considered that possibility, I will say. Alright, they Life from the Loam, they're getting back Wasteland, Misty Rainforest, and... oh, just 2. Okay, that's fine. And this turn we play Ingenious Infiltrator and start hitting with those bad boys. Raise and Borrow is useful for later. Alright, we'll play an Ingenious Infiltrator. I'm trying to think if they can actually... they can't Punishing Fire me twice this turn, right? They have to grow the Burnwillows to return it. They would have to have a second Grove. I guess what they could do is they can't Wasteland themselves and like Life from the Loam back Grove or anything. Let's see. They chose to take a regular draw instead of using dredging Life from the Loam. Okay, they have Wasteland. Yep, we get wasted off blue there. They're holding up Endurance. Right? Like, this might not seem like this. So here's the issue, right? If they have Endurance, if they don't have Endurance, then what we want to do is we want to attack with Ingenious Infiltrator. We're going to play the second Ingenious Infiltrator, attack with Ingenious Infiltrator. But if they have Endurance, what we want to do is we want to hold up Murderous Cut with Delve. That changes nothing. So we're going to go to combat. That attacks. And like, do we see Endurance here? No. Dang. Okay, they take one, or take two from Ingenious Infiltrator. We draw a second Murderous Cut. So what we're going to do is we're going to play Ornithopter. This allows us to ninjutsu and second the Ingenious Infiltrator next turn. And we also have double Murderous Cut open this turn, as well as Brazen Borrower for if they have like Merit Lage. They're returning Punishing Fire to hand. That makes sense. So they can P-Fire Ornithopter, or they can wait till next turn and double Punishing Fire Ingenious Infiltrator. They've chosen to go for Ornithopter. That's fine. That's not nearly as big an issue as it would have been if they went for Ingenious Infiltrator. Okay, starting with a Mox Diamond. Discarding Yavimaya. They play a Wasteland for turn. I assume Volcanic Island's gotta go. Float blue so that we can activate Brazen Borrower if necessary. Alright, they are passing, I believe. Yep. Life from the Loam. Okay, so Brazen Borrower could not have bounced Ornithopter anyways. Has to bounce non-land permanent opponent controls. Alright, so we have more Ingenious Infiltrators coming in with the first one. Okay, deals damage. If we draw land here, I'm playing Ingenious Infiltrator in second main. And I think we're grabbing Swamp. So now we have double Ingenious Infiltrator, and on our turn, we can go for Murderous Cut or Brazen Borrower. They are returning Punishing Fire to hand in response. So if they want on their turn, they can double Punishing Fire one ninja to kill it. It would cost them basically their whole turn, though, to do it. I think it's probably correct. Right, there comes the first one. Now we should see is they will return it with Grow the Burn Willows, then Punishing Fire again. Yep. And this makes sense, because each of these accounts for 2 cards now. I assume we also see a Wasteland. Yep. So this will be second Punishing Fire to finish off Ingenious Infiltrator, and then the Wasteland Badlands here. Yep, and that's the Wasteland activation on Badlands as we expected. So on our turn, what we're still looking at is we're looking to just keep grinding value with Ingenious Infiltrator. And looking at their deck, that's what we're looking to bring in here is probably Maddening Hex, right? So we're bringing in a Maddening Hex in the sideboard, as well as Surgical Extractions, and 1 Force of Negation, and we'll have to figure out what to cut by then. Murderous Cut's looking a little not too useful. I want to put in Yuriko. It's bad. I can't put in Yuriko. Right, Yuriko deals less damage, but also gets bounced by Karakas, and then we don't have a thing to put in to your ninjutsu and another creature. Alright, damage. Give me another land, please. Perfect. Underground Sea. And this will just be another Ingenious Infiltrator. Okay, and they can't double Punishing Fires again this turn. This means next turn we will get in with both of these, hopefully. This allows us on our turn we'll have Brazen Borrower, we'll have we might have Brazen Borrower, we definitely have Murderous Cuts available. Interesting. They're floating green mana for something. Could this be Veil of Summer draw a card? I don't know what instant they're playing. Ooh, Crop Rotation. A new issue. Oh, this is probably Crop Rotation gains second Grove. That way they can start double P firing each turn. Ooh, grabbing Mazavith, actually. Interesting. So now we're on their turn. Let's see what they do with it. Alright, looking at... Oh, I was like, we were looking at double red for something. Sylvan Library, that's fine. It means they may be able to kind of bury us in card advantage, but I think we have a way around that. And then Wasteland, makes sense. They take out our Badlands. We'll have to figure out... We're still looking at... We have damage on board to do stuff. We have Murderous Cuts. They have 2 mana available. Interesting, Otawara. That's an interesting one for later. We can return Artifact, Creature, Enchantment, or Planeswalker to its owner's hand. I'm kind of considering bouncing Sylvan Library with the Brazen Borrower, so they can't use it. Right. We knew that would happen, so one of these gets pushed back, but we're going to draw 2 cards. What do we draw? Force of Will's a good one. I think we're hoping for like Changeling Outcast. DRC. So we don't have a way to play that at the moment. If we Brazen Borrower with Sylvan Library, yeah, I think we have to do Brazen Borrower bounce Sylvan Library. And then this leaves up, like we can still kill any other thing we need to with Murderous Cuts, and then next turn we still have double attackers coming in. Let's also make sure we still have Force of Will available, pitching Yuriko. right? Because Yuriko is kind of useless because of Caracas anyways. Right, it looks like this is returning Punishing Fire. So what happens here, I believe, is they will return. We let them play the first Punishing Fire. To return the second, return it, cast it again. We Force of Will. That would force them to spend basically all their mana. It would force them to spend all their mana, and they wouldn't get to do anything. Let me move that Exile Zone card for you. All right, it appears they played Ghost Quarter for turn. Actually, they're not Punishing Fire yet. I guess they realize they can do it at instant speed. That makes sense. Okay, what we'll do now is we will go to combat. They can Ghost Quarters now if they want. We can still grab the second island off that. This will be Punishing Fire. Yeah, makes sense. We knew the first one was coming. Now they need to return it. So this is the return. We gain a life. So now what we will do is force pitch in Yuriko. Exiling that. Now we Punishing Fire. Alright, they don't have Ghost Quarter up. This looks good for us. Now we don't have a way, so now only one gets through again, which is fine. This will deal 2 damage to them and then give us, this deals 2 damage to them, gives us 2 cards. Right, they maze with 1, we draw 2. And what we can do is we can put in Brazen Borrower on their end step. Let's see what we draw though. Scalding Tarn and DRC. Right, this is going to be Scalding Tarn grabbing a land to play DRC, which is Volk. Now we have Brainstorm activation if necessary. We can also play Brazen Borrower for more damage on our turn. And now they're looking at a lot more damage coming in, right? So we have 4 damage, 3, so that's 7, and then we'll have 10 damage available with Brazen Borrower. They can Punishing Fire 1 thing and Mazavith 1. Actually, they can't Punishing Fire twice. Punishing Fire twice is a 2-turn maneuver. Also, we are up a little over 5 minutes on the clock now as well. Our opponent is playing a little slower than us, and if we go for like a game 3, then they have to watch their clock a bit more. Okay, they play Thespian Stage for turn, and they've chosen to pass. So at their end step, we will play Brazen Borrower as an attacker. So now, if they have Crop Rotation, or so if they have Crop Rotation, make Merit Lage, we have an issue. All right, they pass to our turn though. It looks like we do survive a hit from Merit Lage. I'm actually going to play Dragon's Rage kind of right now, because if they choose to Ghost Quarter us in combat, then we have an issue. Combat. They're returning Punishing Fire. I assume this is Punishing Fire killing Brazen Borrower. It is, I think I'm willing to brainstorm looking for a blue card Force. I put on top. Put on top. So that's Force of Will, so now we need the blue card as well. And we'll put back Polluted Delta Otawara and then force that. Right, and now even if they do play a if they play Merit Lage, they can deal us 20 damage. They can't deal us all of it, but then they can Punishing Fire us for that last 2 actually. So I'm concerned if I want to keep this Otawara. I think I do. No. Yeah, we'll put it on top and put it on top. I don't think it matters. Either we lose or we lose. Go into combat. Now this is where they have to reveal if they have Merit Lage, or else they will, die. Or at least come pretty close. Do they have it? They have Merit Lage. Okay. Bad. Oh no, they've just chose to go for double Mazavith. Interesting. That's very interesting, because double Mazavith stops them from dying, but doesn't win. Right, like if we get to our turn, we have Ottawar on top of the deck. Right, so they're choosing to maze both of the Ingenious Infiltrators, I believe, which would make sense. Stops us from having some card draw. But now we just need to make it to our turn. Right? So they're going to go down to 2. We have lethal on board in spades. Do we play Changeling Outcast here? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, we want to hold up double Murderous Cut more, I think. They're choosing to make a 3rd Mazavith. Okay, we have 5 creatures. You can Punishing Fire 1 of them. I think they are supposed to Ghost Quarter us, because they know we kept a card on top twice. So Ghost Quarter would be the correct play, which means it was a massive mistake to not put keep Ottawar in hand. So that's a punt on my part if we lose this match, or lose this game. Those begin to get a little stressful. Yavimaya for turn. Interesting. Second main phase. Okay, they pass to us. We draw Ottawara for turn. Combat. Attack with everything. Now, if they make Merit Lage, we can auto-war it. If they concede, okay. So we are up a little over 6 minutes on clock going into game 2 of the match, which means they're having an issue with time at this point with a slower deck. Also, let's see. We know what we want. We want Madden Hex and Force Negation for sure, right? Those are coming in. Then we want Surgical Extractions. Okay. We don't have another bounce spell. Hydroblast gets their Punishing Fire, but I don't think Punishing Fire is really the issue until they get it multiple times in a turn. Right, and once they have that, their Hydroblast doesn't get it anymore. So I think we're doing these cards in, I think Snuff out, Fatal Push out, and maybe the Murderous Cuts out. I think so. Alright, so bringing these cards in, now we have our threat still. We have the Brazen Borrower to remove Merit Lage. We have Manning Hex, Auto-War. So, like, what do we need more importantly? I think Manning Hex is very good to stop their... Like, a lot of their plays are non-creature spells, right? Like, their Crop Rotation, their Punishing Fire would become a lot worse if we have Manning Hex on them. This is unkeepable. Right? Like, we have everything we could possibly want, but we don't have a second land. This is so bad if we don't have that second land. It's so good if we had it. This is great, right? Like, this is turn 1, put in these two. What do we drop? I think we get rid of Underground Sea. Let's go. Oh, we need Underground Sea. Right, Island's gone. Done. And this way we can get Yuriko in as early as turn 1, depending on some stuff. Sorry, not turn 1, turn 2, obviously. I mean, drawing a blue card's what we want here. Perfect. Literally the best card we could have drawn. Right, so we'll go Underground Sea, cast Changeling Outcast, and then Ornithopter. And now what we have is next turn, what we can do is we can play Yuriko. If they go for Merit Lage, we have Brazen Borrower in hand. If they need play something else where we need a Force Negation, we can. A Rich Import is like slightly an issue. It's annoying, but I don't think it's too bad unless we don't draw another land here. Yeah, so they're going to port that. Makes sense. If we draw another land here, we're fine, at least for the next turn. We need to draw a land next turn in order to get Yuriko to go off. But now we have Force Negation, probably pitching Strix instead of pitching Brazen Borrower if they play something threatening. This hand feels very good against whatever they're playing. In a different okay, so that's what I was thinking. I was like, they haven't played any colored mana yet. They must have Yavimaya. It looks like they're going to port us on our turn. If they don't, then what they're doing is they're holding up Crop Rotation. Nope, port. Can we draw another land here, please? We could not. I like how every turn what we're pitching to Force Negation has changed. Because now it's definitely Yuriko. Okay, on their turn, do we see, like, make Merit Lage? Nice, nice. So, they can make Merit Lage if they want, but then we can just bounce it with Brazen Borrower. They're choosing to do it here. I think what we do is we do this, right? We don't want them to have Expiration. We'll do that. We have Brazen Borrower in hand still. We need the ability to stop a Dark Depths as necessary. Sorry, to kill Merit Lage as necessary. Oh, they're making it now? Choke. Oh no. Oh no. Can we get another land, please? We could not get another land yet. We need to get another land now, right? So it looks like the Expiration was a bait for choke. So if we draw a land on our turn, well, it depends because they can Rich Import the Bloodstained Mire. I guess we're going to keep playing Ornithopters because they act as a blocker for Merit Lage for a bit. While we figure out that second land problem. Yeah, we'll just keep hitting with the Changeling Outcast until then. Deal some damage along the way. Other fun fact though, the longer they wait on this Merit Lage, the worse it is for them because the clock is ticking on them. Like, I do think they will probably win this match and win it within time, but if they don't win the next match in time, then they have an issue. Okay, on our turn, do we draw a land? No, sorry, this is their turn. We'll attack block with an Ornithopter, and then we have to draw land on our turn. Okay, block that. Now they can Rich Import Bloodstained Mire on our turn, which means we are really running. Ooh, that's very bad. We need them to not have that. Even just like saving as a turn is helpful. Like the second they get both those back, we have issues. Okay. Do we draw the land? No. We have another turn. I think like, so we have a draw step stop for the opponent. So what we're gonna do is, oh, we can't draw step stop Life from the Loam. Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of Life from the Loam. It was either that or get rid of their ooh, they had one in hand. They have red Elemental Blast, Lightning Bolt, and Punishing Fire. Make sure we get the one from the graveyard. So let's look at our deck list real quick. So Urza, 4 of Urza Saga, 4 Wasteland, Thespian Stage, Blast Zone, Expedition Map. So there's like classic lands. They have 2 Endurance, 2 more Dark Depths. So they're running like a 3-3 split then. So now we still need to draw that land, but we at least know they won't be able to create a second Merit Lage. Or at least they won't be able to do it with a Life from the Loam. There was a slight urge that I should have Life from the Loam Dark Depths, but I think that is worse than hitting the Loam. Okay. Can you do this? Ooh, interesting. I was going to say what they should do is they should Rishon Import by Bloodstained Mire. Oh, that's curtains then. We will kind of just waste their time though. We're gonna fetch. Right, we're kind of wasting their time because like the second they need to do something, the clocks are becoming a bigger issue. Badlands, they chose, so I think they've gotten rid of all their stops. Right, and we'll just go to our death real quick. Right, we're going to game 3. Now, knowing their deck list, right? Do we want to bring in Hydroblast for their Pyroblast, for their Lightning Bolts? I don't think so. Like, no, that just sounds bad. We can bring in a Sudden Edict. I probably should have brought that in previously as just another out. Plague Engineers don't do much. Sudden Edict does kill Merit Lage because they didn't really have any other creatures besides an Endurance. So we'll do that. Cut 1 Baleful Strix maybe? I think that's the correct choice. Let's see, right back like this. All right, we won the die roll. We obviously would like to play first. Ooh, this is so good. We have to keep this. This like answers, like Sudden Edict is an answer for Merit Lage they can't interact with. We have Brainstorm, we have Hex, we have Brazen Power. Yeah, this feels great. We don't even need to play any blue cards for a bit either, so choke isn't as big of an issue. Also, if I have to force will, I'm getting rid of Brainstorm here. Exploration, yeah, no. Dropping Brainstorm. Right, like the more lands they play per turn, the worse it is for us. Mox Diamond. Okay. Dropping Rishon Import. Okay. I'm fine with that then, because this means if they had played Exploration, then they would have been able to Mox Diamond and then Rishon Import us, which would have been so bad. Right, so Swamp here, and then next turn we're going Mountain Hex on them. Now this could be something like a it wasn't a crop rotation, because like if it's crop rotation they could conceivably pull off something like Merit Lage next turn, but I don't know for sure. They're choosing to bog us, that's probably fine. That means they don't have anything to do with 3 mana. Okay. We made it to our turn. Badlands. Alright, this needs to be, I think it's gotta be Volcanic Island, right? Hey, we need red. I think we gotta have blue, so we'll go Volcanic Island. And it's gonna be red, black, Maddening Hex on our opponent. Let's see if they have a response. They're thinking about it. So this is the crop rotation we thought could have happened. Crop rotation grabbing Urza Saga, interesting. So they're trying to pivot off the game plan of like Merit Lage by making Saga tokens instead. That's a good plan. We'll just play an Ornithopter. Now we are able to bounce a token, Sudden Edict the other one as needed. Lightning Bolting us. No, the Thopter. Interesting. They take 4. Okay. There's a Saga on their turn. Now they can make constructs with it. Go to our turn. Ooh, Surgical Extraction. Now this is interesting. What we can do is we can, on their turn when Saga dies, we can Surgical Extraction it in second main. Okay, they can make, we're letting them make the construct. Right, we have to let them make the construct, but now we get to Surgical Extraction Saga when it goes to the graveyard. That stops them from having another one. So they choose to make another construct. Right, this happens. And now the question is, interesting. They're using the Saga ability, which means that gives us a priority stop to activate or to use Surgical Extraction and get the Saga. They didn't have a second one in hand. They do have Choke, Dark Depths, and Reb. Alright, let's get the Urza Sagas out of here. If they want to play either that Choke or the Red Elemental Blast, that's fine by me. Which means also, I think what we do this turn is we're going to use Brazen Borrower. Yeah, let's do a Brazen Borrower real quick on the one that can attack. Sorry, Petty Theft. Because this means they won't be able to play Choke. They can't Red Elemental Blast it. We'll make sure we untap and then have a Brazen Borrower able to cast. They play Dark Depths for turn, that's fine. We have a Yuriko. So we're going to hold up Sudden Edict, basically, to Sudden Edict the Construct token. Oh, or they could just have Thespian Stage. That's a new issue. Yeah, that's very bad for us. Interesting. We need to take this. We need to draw another removal spell or an Ornithopter, I guess. Wow, that was a rough one. I got an EI. Right, so we need this to hit like. There's nothing this can hit. Like Sun Edict doesn't do it. We can't play Brave. They do. Ooh. 9 Hex dealt 6. Now they can just make Merit Lage. Yeah, that does. Wow. I really thought we had it this one. Like 9 Hex, I really thought it could go all the way. Looks like probably not. Alright, that's Merit Lage. They have a construct. We don't have any blockers. We can't remove it. And again, Sun Edict wasn't going to take out Merit Lage because they could just sack the construct token in response. So we will concede. That was like a real close match, but we just didn't quite get there. You know what? I bet we can get there for match 4. See you there. Alright, we're back for match 4. We would like to be on the play. Let's see what we get. I mean, we have Expressive Iteration to find something. We have Retrofitter Foundry. We can keep ourselves protected from Wasteland by playing Polluted Delta. I think we keep this and we hope that we can get into we can find a threat with the Expressive Iteration. The opponent's down to 6 cards in hand. Okay, they go to 6. There's one thing I've never known in Magic, which is like how much should I read into an opponent's mulligans? I don't think I want to play Retrofitter Foundry here just so we can hold up Polluted Delta, right? If we fetch like a non-basic and get wastelanded, that's bad. Interesting. So just plain Mountain leaves a couple of options. I'm thinking this is okay. So plain Mountain leaves a few options. The main one in my mind is Mono Red Prison at the moment. Like that seems to be kind of the more popular red deck at the moment. It could be Delver with a basic Mountain. It could be, well, that'd be a bad, like an unqueuable hand for Delver though. Could be Burn. Again, that'd be very bad because they didn't play anything. So I'm leaning Red Prison here. So Kenzan, Chrome Mox. Chrome Mox screams Red Prison. Could be like Ruby Storm though. Let's see, non-artifact, non-land. Let's see what they pitch to Chrome Mox here. Pitching Fury. Alright, so that's Mono Red Prison. Second Chrome Mox. Now this is saying Caves of Chaos Adventure. Yep. We don't have an answer for this at the moment. Interesting. What we have to do is we have to fetch black land. We have to we fetch Underground Sea. We Expressive Iteration, hope to get Murderous Cut out. Just fetch here, doesn't matter. Underground Sea. Then on our turn we get a Changeling Outcast. Right, red and blue go for Expressive Iteration. Okay. One of them into hand, Expressive Iteration. One of them on the bottom, Ingenious Infiltrator, so they don't wear on, and then exile Expressive Iteration. Now there's an issue, which is we missed our land drop. What we're hoping to do now is like force pitching something. That puts 3 cards in the graveyard, and then we can Murderous Cut the Caves of Chaos Adventure on our turn. And what they play this turn. Real quick, look at our sideboard. Obviously what's coming in? Hydroblasts. Previously I used to like Plague Engineer for this matchup. I don't know if I like it as much anymore. It was very good when you were looking at like decks that would be like, oh, Goblin Rabblemaster, that sort of stuff. Now they have a higher end of Caves of Chaos Adventure, right? A Plague Engineer does not lock out their threats anymore. So we're definitely bringing the 2 Hydroblasts, definitely the Force of Negation. Well, that's getting forced. All right, so we're looking at one of that list that's running Chandra as well. Okay, the other options are, they go the wrong way. They chose to scry instead of putting counters on Caves of Chaos Adventure. Interesting. I'm thinking Maddening Hex might come in. Exile Chalice of the Void. Interesting. Okay. The new issue is they are still just working through the Undercity. So we do have to Murderous Cut this guy. I'm gonna do it now instead of waiting. Which probably isn't the correct move, but like I like it better. It gives them one less look at like Red Elemental Blast. And then we need to get a creature down to take the initiative. All right, so they're gonna create a treasure token here, and then they can make a 4/1 with Menace, or they can make a 4/1 with Menace the turn after, which will possibly be able to Murderous Cut again. Fable is an issue. That means they can just take back everything. They can take back the initiative. That's a good one. That stops the Fable, the Mirror Breaker, or the Shaman token from attacking. So you can play that, draw a card. Bloodstained Mire is very good, so we'll now fetch probably red-black land, Badlands. to play a Changeling Outcast. Now there's done a few things, one of which is like we've refilled Murderous Cut for next turn. So we can trade with Baleful Strix, Murderous Cut the token, and then attack with Changeling Outcast to gain the initiative for us. Excuse me one moment. Alright, they're resolving a Fable Mirror Breaker trigger. Alright, let's see what they discard. They discard Den of the Bugbear. That's it. That's bad. We're really hoping they had 2 cards in hand they didn't find very good. Let's make some decisions here real quick. Fury. Yikes. That changes things. Hardcast Fury. Alright, so we have to Murderous Cut Fury now in our turn. Luckily, it will be only cost a black mana, so we can Expressive Iteration before that. This one looks lost to me, I'll be honest. I'm gonna keep it real with you all. I think we're taking the L on this, but I think we still have a chance here, even in this game, if not this match. Okay, so what we can do is we can Murderous Cut Fury, play Baleful Strix. Seems fine. Baleful Strixes are looking pretty good for this matchup. Right, like they have a lot of creatures that just don't do well against it. And then we will Murderous Cut Fury. Remove creatures and Bloodstained Mire. That's every... So Fury's taken care of. Menace creature is a different issue. And they're about to be able to activate the Throne of the Dead 3. They get to reveal top 10 cards of the library, put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield, 3+1/+1 counters on it, and gains hexproof until their next turn. So if this is another Fury, I think we just lose. So 10 cards enter the reveal card zone. Interesting. Caves to Cast Adventure. So they have Legion War Boss, Caves to Cast Adventure, Simian Spear Guide. A lot of they are running Trinisphere. Okay. So it's an 8/6. They get to venture to the dungeon again. Get a basic. The Blue Blast coming in. We don't really need Hydro Blast, it's more for counterspell matchups. So we're gonna bring in our Blue Blast, we're gonna bring in the I was thinking, like, do we bring in the Sudden Edict? We don't, because they have so many cards that are just gonna make tokens. Alright. Baleful Strix trades for the Goblin Shaman, I believe. We need a removal spell that kills Caves of Cast Adventure, because it has trample. Blood Moon, concede. Okay, so let's do some sideboarding real quick, because I think we actually do have good sideboarding cards here. Right, so Hydroblast, Force Negation in. I want to bring in as well Maddening Hex. Cards coming out. I think we're doing 2 Ornithopters. Like, we want all our answers. We can remove 2 Ornithopters. If we remove an Ornithopter, 1 Retrofitter Foundry becomes worse. So then we do that. We're going to cut 3 Ornithopters into Retrofitter Foundry. It makes us a little slower, but gives us more answers for a late game, for when they start getting into us. And especially because Ornithopter is a lot worse if they have, like, Trinisphere. We won the die roll. Would you like to play? Yes. This doesn't do it. Right? Like, Snuff Out's good. Swamp isn't good enough. This is keepable, though. Yeah, on, like, a low count, I think this is keepable. I think what we're doing is we're putting back EI. And what we're hoping to do here is that combine Retrofitter Foundry as long as Changeling Outcast, which we'll hopefully be able to cast eventually, with Ornithopter. Like, Retrofitter Foundry with Ornithopter and Changeling Outcast to just get 4/4s on the board early and hope to win with those. And what we're looking to do as well is, like, force of negation our opponents, like Trinisphere, or, well, Trinisphere might not be too bad. I don't want to force Chrome Mox. It's a tempting one, because if they don't have that second mana source, if they go, like, Ancient Tomb or City of Traders, and then Chrome Mox, this Chalice, actually. This is Blood Moon? No! Interestingly, Blood Moon actually makes City of Traders a little bit better, so, like, this could destabilize their mana still. That's fine. They can put Chalice on 0. Right? So if they don't have, like, if they have a red land, they only get 3 mana for 2 turns, for 1 turn, right? Because they don't have a way to make this City of Traders stick around anymore. Okay, they take 4 from our construct. We'll pass back to them. We're going to see what they do. And what we're hoping here is that they either, like, don't have another persistent source of mana, or they don't have, or, like, they have to play just, like, a basic mountain and lose their city here. It would be very good for us. Looks like that's what's happening, and they're going to play a creature off, some sort of threat off it, though. Fable and Mirror Breaker's not too bad. Okay. And they will pass to us. There's, like, a really good argument that we should block and kill the Shaman token, but I think what we'll do that is we'll do that with the Baleful Strix. What do we draw? A Yuriko. Interesting. So Yuriko makes me want to keep Baleful Strix around, actually, to put in Yuriko with it next turn. So I think what we'll do is we will not block with the construct this. We're not going to attack the construct this turn. because we want to kill the Shaman token if it attacks, and we can't kill it with the Strix anymore because we need that Strix in play. Alright, they're activating they're resolving Fable. They discard Goblin Rabblemaster. Interesting, they must not have... They either have another one, or they don't have their mana still. Ooh, they might not have their mana under them. Alright, we will block this with the Construct. Now, this is a blowout to Fury, because if they Fury us, we're going to lose everything. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with this. Alright, so Fury, what did they pitch? Caves of Chaos Adventure? That's fine. So they have to kill both things now. Right. And no matter what, they would have got to kill everything. We don't have an ability to sacrifice any of these for anything. And now they are at 3 mana, so this could be like something like Goblin Rabblemaster. Trinisphere, interesting. Now they can't play anything under Trinisphere, but we have Retrofitter Foundry. And we actually get to play... Do we just play Yuriko here? I think we do, right? Like, we just play Yuriko. I think we do this because, like, if we play Changeling Outcast, then we can attack with Changeling Outcast next turn. In Ninjutsu and Yuriko, we can't actually replay the Changeling Outcast. Like, this way we can play Yuriko and activate Changeling Outcast if necessary. So they have their Reflections of Kiki-Jiki. Ancient Tomb, interesting. That's bad for us. So that means they do have the ability to play spells next turn. Baleful Strix is good. Let's attack. They can block here. They should block. Yeah, they block. And what we'll do is we'll do Baleful Strix on our turn. Tap in 3. Let's see what if this gets us. Bloodstained Mire. That's good for us. We'll play that and pass. So now I will trade Baleful Strix for Reflections if Reflections attacks. Otherwise, we're chilling for a bit. It looks like they're not playing anything on their turn. We can play Changeling Outcast here for an attacker for next turn. Or we can activate Retrofitter Foundry. I think Changeling Outcast is the move, as you would say. Okay, they're choosing to block again. We knew this would happen. It just doesn't really matter too much to me. And if they attack with it because they can get damage through, that's better for us than if they choose not to attack. Changeling Outcast coming in. Alright, we're going to pass to our opponent here. Now they do have 2 cards in hand. We know that they were expecting... Oh, one of them was a mountain, so this could be Hardcast Fury. Looks like it's not that, though. I was going to say if we draw land, we get... if we drew a land, we would have got Force of Will. Hardcast. We're going to get rid of Reflections of Kiki-Jiki. Wait, is this 0 cost or 3 cost? It is 3 cost. Yikes. Not my best play, especially because I could have fetched with Bloodstained Mire around that to fix that. Alright, well, even so you lose some. Interesting. If I remember, I thought they weren't gonna block with Reflections. Okay, we get a Yuriko trigger. What do we get? Brainstorm. Not great, not terrible. It's good if we can connect. Obviously I punted by not fetching for Bloodstained Mire and not recognizing the mana cost of Reflections. Oof. Is this Hardcast Fury? This second Fable. Okay. So now we can't attack with Yuriko anymore because they can block it. We can still keep getting it with the Changeling Outcast. We can actually... Ooh. Now we can attack with Yuriko on our turn. Interesting. They can block it, obviously, but like we can at least get in with it. Okay, now here's the other thing. We can brainstorm putting back Force of Will. Well, surely it's better just Murderous Cut, right? We're gonna Murderous Cut, getting rid of that, and then we'll attack it 2 ninja triggers, Fatal Push and Baleful Strix. Right, this keeps 4 types in the graveyard for if we draw our DRCs. Alright, everything gets in. We get to draw 2 cards off Yuriko with dealing some damage to the mean in the same moment. So we need to flip 7 damage here. 3 damage and Ingenious Infiltrator. Swamp. That's fine. Play Swamp for turn. This means we can actually activate Retrofitter Foundry as well, make another 1/1. Okay, let's see. So we're hoping to dodge like Fury here. So what do they discard? They discard Trinisphere, Simian Spirit Guide. Oh no. Okay, so this case of Chaos Adventure. No, it's Fury. Okay, so they get to play Fury. They can kill everything because they can copy Fury with Reflections if they need to. Alright, in response to their damage, we're going to sack the Changeling Outcast to make a 4/4. So Fury will deal 3 damage to Yuriko. Now what they can do is they can copy Fury with Reflections and then kill the Construct if they want. But that lets us get through with the Baleful Strix. Looks like that is what they're going to do. Because this lets them kill Construct and get in for 6 damage. Now what we need is if we attack with Baleful Strix, any ninja probably wins the game because Ingenious Infiltrator just does 2 damage. And Yuriko will deal 1 and flip. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna brainstorm on our turn, and then during combat, hopefully ninjutsu and something. So let's. I guess we need fetch first. I'm trying to think. I think it's probably better to fetch after, right? It's hard to know. Let's fetch. Let's do brainstorm. Ooh, didn't hit. Alright, put back EI brainstorm. EI brainstorm. Now they have activate. They have 12 damage available then, with Fury coming in. So now what we need to do is we need to hold open Retrofitter Foundry, right? Like or what we can do is we can attack with Baleful Strix, then use Retrofitter Foundry on our turn when they attack, and then figure something out from there. Let's put them to 1. What they do is they copy Fury that'll kill the Baleful Strix. Right, so Baleful Strix doesn't stick around no matter what we do. They can copy Fury. When they go to combat, we make a Retrofitter Foundry token, and then block whatever they make, and block the token copy of Fury. They have a Blood Moon. This is fine, actually. They have 2 mana available. They have to make basically need to make a copy of Fury because that kills us. Looks like they're thinking it through. What should happen is what they do is they tap 1, tap Reflections, make a Fury token. They put 4 damage on Baleful Strix. Go to combat. When they go to combat, we make a Retrofitter Foundry token. We block 1 Fury, take 6, go to 5. Next turn, we're staring at the same board state, but now they have lethal and we don't have any colored mana. Right, this is where we make our token. Next turn, we do have 6 mana, which we are able to make another token. Block. It doesn't matter which one we block. But next turn, they're able to make 2 Furies. We go to 5 Reflections, triggers. Then we have to see what we draw. So we make 1 thing, untap. We can make a 1/1 flyer. They can get in for lethal still because they make a copy and a copy of Fury. So they have 3 Furies attacking. And then we die. So we have to pack it up on that one. That game came close. Didn't quite get there. I think we had them at 1, which is very good. Let's hop into the next match. Let's make it go a little bit nicer. All right, match 5. We are on the play. Retrofitter Foundry beats. Sounds pretty good to me, actually. Keep this. We'll go Foundry Outcast. We'll go Foundry Thopter, make a 4/4. Then later we can go Foundry Outcast, make 4/4. And we just win with Retrofitter Foundry attacking. I mean, just getting 2 4/4s down early is very good. Tell our opponent GLHF still. Be good guys about everything. And we will play Ornithopter first, I guess. Okay, and we'll pass to them. Okay, we're just going for Ornithopter hidden plan. They have a Swamp. Interesting. Basic Swamp always conveys to me like Mono Black Helm combo. But there's currently a list going around. Oh, who's that target? That's targeting me. Okay, so that's going to be taking Changeling Outcast then. Keep us off of 4/4. It's possible they don't know the list though. They take Force of Will, which should be Changeling Outcast. So suddenly this feels like Mono Black Reanimator, which means that this would be like Mono Black. I think the Mono Black Reanimator combo list tends to be World Gorger Dragon combo. Right, they took Force of Will instead of Changeling Outcast. That makes me think combo. This is Entomb, I assume. What do we see with Entomb? If it's World Gorger Dragon, I think people should subscribe. Oh, it's Archon of Cruelty. Okay, well, subscribe anyways, maybe? Ingenious Infiltrator is interesting. You're gonna get back an Archon of Cruelty. I'm conflicted, right? If they get back Archon of Cruelty, its construct will never get in or never do anything important. We can make a 1/1. We can make a Changeling Outcast that can get in. Oh, sorry, I didn't fetch black actually, so no, we can't. I meant to fetch a black land there. So we will make a token here in response to reanimate. Yeah, let's just make a token. Now we sacrifice. We'll discard the second Retrofitter Foundry. So sack the token, discard the Foundry. Yeah, so it looks like they probably got this one. Yeah, they got this one. All right, game 2. Make some changes. Sideboarding, coming in, Force of Negation, Surgical Extraction, Sudden Edict. Okay. We need Surgical Extractions, obviously. What do we not need? Ornithopters? DRCs, maybe? Okay, Fatal Push can come out. We're never going to be killing something small enough. Murderous Cut I want to keep for removal. Same with Brazen Borrower, right? Like if you put an uncastable creature in their hand, it's basically the same as killing it, maybe a little bit better. We can remove Changeling Outcast. I think we remove 2 Ornithopters, 1 Retrofitter Foundry, and run it like that. Ooh, there's an argument for Maddening Hex, right? If they're going to be playing a lot of discard spells, but let's try that for game 3. Alright, on the play again, as we want. We have Surgical Extraction, we have things. Yep, keep this. This is kind of perfect. Like, one thing we'd want here would be, like, another counter spell, right? And I'll talk about that in my final thoughts at the end of this league. And we'll just play Polluted Delta on our turn. All right, pass it to our opponent. What do they have for us? Swamp. Okay, that was what we saw previously. And we'll go... I think we just go Badlands. We could EI here. Looking for... Well, we would miss out on everything, right? We'd only get 1 card into hand. Yeah, so let's just grab our Underground Sea and we'll pass, actually. Like Badland, EI doesn't really get us anything here, so we can't play anything off it. We can't play a 1-drop. We can't play anything really. All right, they are Entombing. I assume this is probably Archon again, right? No, they have Gristlebrand. Okay. So I wonder how they chose last time. Must have been like just life-based. Collective Brutality. Target opponent reveals their hands. All right, so we need to do this in response. Get rid of Gristlebrand, and then they can take the EI. Animate Dead, Profane Tutor, Swamp. Then we're looking at Chain of Smog, Ashen Rider, Archon of Cruelty, Professor Onyx. Wow, this is a list. We got the Gristlebrand there, right? Do they have another Gristlebrand? No Gristlebrands normally light up. Okay, Grave Titan and Tomb Surgicals. Interesting list. Okay, they can take that. Now we're dealing with Profane Tutors, right? So we're on a clock. We're on a clock to find either more Graveyard Hate or some removal. Sorry, not removal. Counterspells. Like, yikes. Hear me out. We could EI or I could just play Yuriko. And I think I like just playing Yuriko more than I like EI here. Like, we know they don't have removal. This gives us an extra card draw next turn. It gives us the ability to EI next turn. Like, it guarantees us an attacker with a Yuriko trigger. They suspend Profane Tutor as we kind of expected they would. Polluted Delta. We'll see. We'll decide about that after we EI this turn. I guess we could have played Ingenious Infiltrator for card draw first. That's a good one. All right. Expressive Iteration. Ooh. Very good. Okay. Brainstorm to hand. DRC on the bottom of the library. Changeling Outcast and Exile. And we'll play Changeling Outcast. And we'll play Polluted Delta. And we'll pass. Alright, so this turn we can hit with 2 ninjas. Like, I don't think there's a way to hit with 3. There was if we had played, I guess we could have hit with 3 ninjas if we had played the buddy. We're not putting Ingenious Infiltrator in first. We probably should have this time, but I want to see these triggers first. Forceful's a good one. Forceful's a good one. I was like, I think they can't beat 2 forces. They thought so too. Cool, sideboarding. Was there anything new we saw? Obviously, Hydroblast, Pyroblast, useless. Maddening Hex, they were quite heavy on those sort of things, right? So maybe we cut a Baleful Strix for a Maddening Hex in case we want to play that and try it like that. All right, we're back in it. Maddening Hex, no lands, so no. Double Force does not make up for no lands. This I like, though. This I like quite a bit. Keep this, we'll put away probably Volk, honestly, right? Hold up the Force Negation, have Brazen Borrower for if they get something to play. Keep this. Volk goes away. Let's see what they do. Swamp, go. Ooh, it just keeps getting better. It looks like they did have to mulligan pretty considerably. They choose to Thoughtseize. I choose that they don't Thoughtseize, actually. I think I'm fine with this play. Like, it's definitely card disadvantage, but like, the Surgical Extraction is so important that I like this play. You don't have a second land, you say? We're not going to EI this turn. We'll EI next turn. This turn we'll hold up Brazen Borrower, and then next turn we can use it for the land drop. Looks like they're passing again. They don't have that second land still. Polluted Delta for draw. They are choosing to Entomb now. We'll let them do that. Okay, they get Archon of Cruelty off Expressive Iteration. Let's fetch and then, sorry, Archon of Cruelty off Entomb. We'll fetch Expressive Iteration. Let's grab Underground Sea and then making sure that one can grab Volcanic Island. It can. Underground Sea, Volcanic Island. Blue and red, and we'll cast Expressive Iteration. This is a hard whiff. EI to hand. Baleful Strix on the bottom. Brainstorm in play. And we'll play the Brainstorm off the Polluted Delta just so we have just so it turns into a card in hand. Probably grabbing Volcanic Island again. Okay. Ooh, we do need that threat. Let's put back. I guess we're drawing all this, so it doesn't matter. Let's put Badlands on top and then Expressive Iteration on top of that, so Expressive Iteration can play Badlands next turn. And then on our other turn we have tons of stuff to like mess with them. We have forces, we have surgical. Dark Ritual's fine. We have enough forces I'm willing to play through them having like multiple reanimates. Our opponent reveals their hand, you choose an instant sorcery. Force negation, pitching Brazen Borrower. I want them to destroy their hand here. Archon of Cruelty gets surgical. They have Collective Brutality, Lake of the Dead, Professor Onyx in hand. Let's get that Archon. Oh, they do not have like multiple copies of Archon or anything. Okay, they have Collective Brutality and Professor Onyx in hand. They can't play Lake of the Dead. I don't know if you know Lake of the Dead, but I do. A little. So taps, sacrifice swamp, add 4 black. But when it enters the battlefield, you have to sacrifice a swamp or put it directly into the graveyard. So good card. Very expensive in paper. Probably make some of these cards castable. That wouldn't be otherwise. I want to play Yuriko actually this turn. Right. And for a simple reason of this lets me hold up Force Will. They don't have a removal spell. Collective Brutality can only shrink it so much, right? And then this allows us to force their Professor Onyx for if they want to start doing Chain of Smog combo stuff. Right, so they do have the second swamp, so they could conceivably Collective Brutality now, which they choose to do. Right, well, they'll take an instant sorcery from us. They'll probably be Force of Will. Yep. Oh, they did not take Force of Will. They took the EI. Makes sense in a different way. Okay, hit with Yuriko. Let's get a blue card in hand, please. Another Surgical is good. I can't quite use it for much at the moment. It does shut down their graveyard plays. Swamp. I assume this is going to be play Lake of the Dead, play Professor Onyx, right? Sacrifice a swamp instead. So they could do that. They could go Lake of the Dead, Professor Onyx here. They've chosen not to, though. And now I have Hardcast Force. Interesting. We know they have both these cards, so that was a play available to them. Brainstorm, that's fine. So now we're looking to see what our opponent does this turn. That's very interesting, because I think they really should have done Lake of the Dead, because Lake of the Dead allowed them to play Professor Onyx, which I guess we wouldn't have won, but we don't really have pressure on board that deals with it, whereas now we can Force of Will it. I'm not necessarily... they say made a huge... Oh, they'd already played a swamp. That's it. Sorry, my apologies. They said, yeah, I made a huge mistake playing that land lol. And yeah, they kind of did. Now on our turn, we can Brainstorm, still hold up Force of Will as needed, and we will... Ooh, I'm trying to think how we do this. So I think what we do is we put back... We just put back Brainstorm, Otawara, and then just fetch. I think that sounds good to me. I don't really want Brainstorm, oddly. Grab an Underground Sea. I just want to deal damage with Yuriko. Oh, that's great. Okay, Yuriko's coming in. Give me a high cost card. That is not that, but that's fine. So we have double force now. Yeah, let's see what they have. So this is Lake of the Dead. Playing a Grief. I think we hard cast Force here on Grief. So we hard cast Force on Grief. They can't play Liliana this turn. Next turn when they can, or sorry, Professor Onyx. Next turn when they can, we can just force it again. With either force here. We have 3 mana. We can... I think we do Maddening Hex them, and then we have Force of Will or Force of Negation as needed. If this grabs a blue card, we're definitely doing that. Yeah, oh yeah. This will be Maddening Hex on our opponent. And then we can hardcast Force of Negation, pitch cast Force of Will as necessary, as well as have Surgical Extraction for if they go for a graveyard-based line. Yeah, that land play really screwed them there. Okay, this is going to be them sacking a land. Dark Writ. Fine, Dark Writ's fine. And they took 6 damage from the Dark Ritual for Maddening Hex. Liliana. We will allow Maddening Hex trigger to resolve. Another 6. they can't activate the top ability of Liliana anymore. Wow. Force of Negation. Maddening Hex is absurd. I agree, opponent. Force of Negation. Man, this match. That match brought to you by Maddening Hex. See you in the see you in a moment. All right, so we ended up with a 2-3 in the league. Final thoughts. I don't know if I like this more than Dimir Ninjas. All right, so hear me out. I like the Expressive Iterations, obviously. I like the DRCs. What I like most of all is just the better mana base. Like, this mana base compared to, like, the normal 2-color mana base where you're just running one Underground Sea, I just hate it. This felt better for mana base. Like, this felt like a more consistent 3-color mana base than that 2-color was. Now, to be fair, that 2-color mana base was trying to put back to basics on the sideboard. This one doesn't have that, and we did have an issue with lands, right? But also, like, I like Pyroblasts in the deck list. I like Maddening Hex. These are good additions to this deck right now. If we're coming up against Delver, those Pyroblasts would have been necessary. We didn't come up against it, but I think that's a good addition. Issues, I felt like we weren't getting our ninjas out that much. I don't know if Baleful Strix should be here. Maybe this should be a 1-drop flying ninja. I like that. That's a very questionable. That'd be a very questionable choice, honestly. I don't think I fully agree with that statement. Even saying it myself. Like Moon Circuit Hacker might be better. Wait, that might be a 2-drop. I still think that one might be a little bit better here. Like the Baleful Strix was a good blocker, but I feel like this deck is a tempo deck. The other issue, we lose out on Daze with this deck list. And I begin to think Daze is so like strong for this list that it needs to be here. Like let me not say that. Let me not say that it's so strong for this list. I think Daze is such a good tempo play for controlling the game and making your opponents play on your terms that not having it here is a step down in power that we could have. Right? Like in combo decks, Daze is good. In tempo decks, Daze is good because it allows you to control the opponents and make them play on your turn. And the fact that we're giving that up is an issue. I do like having the Force of Negation and Brazen Borrowers. I think Murderous Cut's a very good card in this deck because we're looking at a destroy a target creature card that we can cast for 1 mana and is 5 damage off a Yuriko flip. I like the deck. I think I would play it again. I don't know if I would play it over like ninjas, right? If we look at this list right here that we played last time, the Dazes are so good. Moon Circuit Hacker was very good in that list. Spellstar Sprites, I think, yeah, this is like where you start diverging. Like Spellstar Sprite, I think is worse. I think like this mana base is significantly worse. Like the sideboard might be worse as well. Let me take a look at the old sideboard, right? Yeah, I don't like this sideboard as much. But like, I don't know for sure if we've discovered the perfect like ninja list yet with Baleful Strix. Like Expressive Iteration, good. Dragon's Rage Chandler, I like it. Baleful Strix feels odd. It feels like we're missing Daze. I don't know what needs to be cut and what needs to come in, but I feel like there's some changes that still need to be made to this deck before it's fully viable. All right, those are my final thoughts though. If you made it this far in this video, thank you very much for watching. Consider giving the video a like or subscribe to the channel. Helps me out a lot. I'm trying to grow this channel. Thank you. Peace.